Whiteside, the Director of Technology and New Business Development for Halo Source. This is our second video, and we've just completed a project where we developed a small customer data warehouse, if you will, source to a dimensional model and on into an OLAP cube, generating quite a bit of SSIS code. We have not reviewed any of that code yet. We've concentrated on the Halo Source IDE. Its ease of use as the interface, and the fact that we could get all of that done in about 15 or 20 minutes. What we're going to do now is revisit that solution real quick and then take a look at what happened underneath the covers. So if we were to open up our solution, the one that we just finished here, just to refresh your memory, we've got a project. We went through and created some data connections here to our analysis services server, our source and staging areas. We created an ETL capability that created a dimension table for us. We sourced the table here of customer data, and then we created a geography dimension table here. We've got a couple of dimensions here that we'll look at. So those dimensions are the geography dimension, along with, we created a couple of hierarchies here. The first video will cover in detail how all of this is done. We then created our default measure, which is simple count of identity, and some dimensional mapping. Now, during the process, one of the first things we did after we created our data connection was to create some ETL packages. So let's go take a look at the code that actually was generated in this case. And if we were to search in a directories here, and search in our solution directory. So behind the scenes, if you navigate to the appropriate directory, I've kind of cleaned it up a little bit. But again, we're keeping various versions of information. However, the code that is generated is here and available. You can see the two DTX files and packages here. If we were to take a look at those inside of SQL Management Studio. So we've got our two packages here. The first package, as you can see here, that's generated is relatively comprehensive. Again, we use a standard template and enforce all the best practices from an SSIS coding and performance perspective. And the heart of this package, in addition to doing the prerequisites and being able to keep up and clean up and not create a lot of additional tables, is a transformation here that's going to actually create a data flow that will be your simple source to target copy, and create the staging table that we've talked about. And in addition, we've got another sample package here. This is a much more comprehensive package that's used to create the dimension. And in this case, as you can see, we've got a series of data flows, a series of tasks, control flow tasks that are created, along with capabilities and code generation in the way. Here you've got the actual code that's generated to get the join data for your dimensions. So again, an effective use of both SSIS capabilities, pipeline capabilities, and standard SQL code generation. Next, all visible and certainly maintainable from a future perspective. Obviously much easier to maintain with the IDE and the GUI itself. Now, next, if we take a look at the cube itself, I've got a visual, I've opened a Visual Studio, and I've opened up a database project here, analysis services. We're looking at our Halo customer demo. Again, the objective here is to show you that everything is completely maintainable and it's out in the open. There's just a black box here. There's quite a bit of technology and advanced capabilities in using the system management objects within the Microsoft stack, but nonetheless, once it's out here and available, if you choose to customize it or maintain it, you can. You can see the relationship here of the dimension table to the facts table as created. We've got the cube here also, as you can see. It's available in this measure group. We've got our dimension as created. We can edit that geography dimension. As you can see here, we've got our dimension created along with our hierarchies, our customer name hierarchy and our city state zip hierarchy. So, along with the presentation that I gave back on the 19th, The idea here is to really demonstrate to you that you can use a lot of this. You can fully utilize the Microsoft stack, both SSIS and SSAS, as well as reporting services. We'll take a look at that later, and many other capabilities in terms of analytics that Halo has to offer, all through our single IDE. And if we navigate back towards our initial IDE, you'll see that as you look here, we've got our simple project and our report capabilities. Oops, sorry. And of course, I closed the project. So let's open that back up. As you can see here, that simple IDE does give us those capabilities of maintaining the connections, customizing and generating and changing packages, creating our dimensions and our cubes, and then setting up our workflows. So again, this is our Whiteside. I'd like to thank you very much. If you have any questions, please contact me at ira.whiteside@IQ.